So now, okay, so Pega, so Pega is something so did you all know Java? Basically, what it is? It's a programming language, right?
Yeah.
So basically, what happens is I mean, whenever we have to develop any language or sorry, a project, basically. So what we do is we can develop it in Java, .NET, C, C++, Python. There are many programming languages that we have it, that we can easily develop it. But the problem is, for example, let's say if the bank comes and if the bank will say, okay, I need an application wherein which I want a process wherein which what the customers can log in and they can just apply for a loan. Let's say I can say that, okay, customers select basically they need home loan, personal loan, or education loan and all that stuff. Then after that they submit it, and after submitting it, that application will go to a banking manager, or some respective person, and that's a respective person will verify whether that particular person is eligible for a loan or not, based on the salary, or based on the loan amount and all the stuff. If everything looks good, then if he approves it, and after the approval, one email should go to that customer saying that your loan has been approved, and your money will get credited in your account on 3 or 4 business days, like that. Okay, and then also one email should also go to other person, like that. So that we can easily develop in Java. But problem is, we have to write in Java, C, C++, Python, we have to write in a lot of it's a line of coding that we have to write it. So then like that. And of course, if we have to write a lot of coding, so it will be hard to maintain, and it's more resources we have to hire it and all that stuff, and time, it will be very time taking, like that. So now, so and here the Pega comes, it's very helpful. So what Pega is do is it's a Java. So now we know that it's a programming language, it's a language basically, right? And the programming language. So now, Pega is not a language, basically, it's a tool. Okay, it's not a here in the Pega we don't write for example, if you have to write something in C++, what you have to do is hash include iostream.m, and all those things in A, B, C, like that. We don't have to write all these things. So it's a tool, right? So everything is something so it's will already everything will be there for you. All that you need to know is you have to learn it, basically how to use those to or I mean things in for your requirement, basically. Okay, so already what happens whenever you do anything in Pega, so backend, basically the Pega will write Java code for you. So that all so all that you need to do, you have to just place it, you'll say that, okay, this I have to put it here, this I have to put it there. That's it. In the backend, Pega will write it the coding. If it's related to some processing, then that will write a Java coding. If it's related to UI, then backend, the Pega will be writing your HTML, JavaScript code for you. And then if you have to fetch something from the table, then a Pega will write a SQL query for you. So you don't have to do anything. All that you need to know is the proper rules, basically, that we use it in Pega. That's it. That all that you have to master it. So that's the reason, it will not take much time, for you to master it. So initially you might can think that, okay, it's a bit tough and all these things. So, but slowly, once you practice it, for example, some inheritance concepts, reusability concepts, and all these things, it will take time, for you to understand. I mean, time means not a 1 year time. It's just half an hour or 1 or 2 hours time. It depends on you, basically, how much you practice it. The more you practice, the more you can be able to learn it faster, basically. Okay, so okay, as I said, it's a tool, and it's a built on Pega, sorry, Java. So it's a and it's called as, some people say it's a tool, and also it says that the BPM tool, as like BPM. So BPM stands for business process management. Okay, and there are many tools, I mean, there are many BPM tools available in the market, not only Pega, but the Pega has some specialities, basically, when compared to other BPM. Let's say IBM has also introduced their own BPM tool and all this stuff, but they have every tool have some drawback and advantages. So and now, So Pega would basically what it does is like, the Pega has actually collected all the drawbacks like what other BPM tool has, and they have like, made it simple. So that is the reason, like if you see here, if you see all the big clients like Amazon, then in the telecom domain also like, Vodafone, Telstra, insurance domain, if you take like, Aegis, and then United Health Group. So all that thing, like, so whatever that, and the Pega is not limited to any single domain, like, whatever the domain that you name it, the Pega is there, telecom domain or a healthcare domain, banking domain, banking, like, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all the big, like customers basically, they are relying on Pega, because, and the advantage why we are going for Pega, not for any programming language, is something because it's faster. Faster means like, for example, if I'll give you the project that you have to build it in Java, so which will take, let's say, 1 year, same project you can build it in Pega and in a nicer manner in 3 months. So that much faster the Pega is actually, so that is the reason, like, I mean, the people like, big banks, like, so because they have a lot of money, so they don't have to worry about, buying Pega license and all those things. So all they want is like, the in the lesser time they want to give, more features to their customers, so that they're so that so their customers will be happy, like that. Okay, so it's a business, like as I said, so it's a business process management, wherein which in the Pega we can develop any business. You just name it and we can develop that business, in no time. For example, if you see there, like, in surroundings, like, everything is business, right? I mean, for example, from applying for a loan to, let's say, applying for a college. Okay, now let's say I have to apply in some no some IIT college, so where in which, like, I have to fill all my details, my 10th class percentage, and my 12th class percentage, and my and then how much I scored, or from which institution, like, I have done my 10th and 12th, and then how much, which entrance exam that I've given it, and how much I've scored in that entrance exam, in which area I've given that entrance exam, my phone number, email ID, everything. I'll give it to them, and they will just validate whether am I eligible for getting admission in that particular college. If yes, I'll get a notification saying that, okay, so you're eligible, or if not, then I'll get a notification saying that, sorry, I mean, it's better like next year or something, like that. So like that. So in Pega, like, basically, like, if we design all these processes, so for example, let's say if it's a banking domain, banking again, like, I mean, let's say, for example, I've already given you one example of a loan. So second example, or for example, leave application, right? Simple leave application. So like, because you all also must be applying leave, right, in TCS. So what you do, like, so you just go to any portal. So you will be having a respective portal in your organization where you go there, and once you log in there, so you will see that, okay, how many leaves that you are, still, you can avail it for the year. So let's say 20 leaves that you can avail it, and then you just say that, okay, from which date to which date that you are applying it, and leave reason use, or which leave, basically annual leave or personal leave, and then the leave reason that you insert it. And then after, once you submit this, like, again, it will get that particular application, or particular, a leave request will go to your respective manager. Then the manager, either he can approve it or reject it, and that's it. Once he approves it, like, you will get a notification saying that, okay, like, yeah, you, you'll get a notification saying that, um like, so like your meeting, like, or sorry, your leave, has been approved or rejected, like that. Okay, so that is what, like, so it's something like, which you can do. So everything, like, process wise, when whatever you think of in a process, you can just build it, like, surroundings and all these things, that all, like, you can develop it in Pega. Okay, so then now we'll see it, like, so now it's I've just told you, like, everything about theoretical, but I'll show you practically as well. Okay, so now let me just log in. So here, so this is how, basically, now this is not like how Pega screen looks like by default. Pega screen, basically, I'll show you how it looks like. So this is how actually the Pega screen looks like. So now the latest version now is 8.8. So, and this is what that version. So this is how you're, like, your by default Pega login screen looks like. So every user, either it could be end user, developer, or, like, any user basically who will be working in your Pega application, will have to has like some login credentials. Otherwise, like they won't be able to insert it or able to access your application. So that is again your authentication basically. Okay, so now but you can just customize it. You can customize your login screen based your business need. For example, I have done something like this, and then you can log in. So once you have, let's say, for example, once you have downloaded it, so I'll give you a link, from where you can also download the personal edition so that you can practice it. So once you download it, so you will see this kind of a screen. Okay, like that. So and then in the document and everything, you will have one administrator login credentials that you will be provided, through which you have to log in first, and then you can just create your own operator ID. So once you logged in, so what you can simply do is you can just go here. So this is how basically once you log in, you will see this kind of a screen, where you will be go to the dev studio, and once you have logged in with that administrator access, so simply what you can do is you can just go here. I mean, you can just click on this, okay, and initials, and just go to the operator ID, and then you can create a new operator ID. So what simply you can do that, you can just click a save as, and then you can just, whatever that your name is, you can, with your name and then operator ID, you can just create that, and then you just say create and open. That's it. And then your operator ID, will get created. Okay, and also that's it. And then also what you have to do is you have to just, give your organization name and all the stuff, your organization, division, and unit. Okay, that's it. And now, okay, so now as part of our application development, I mean, Pega learning. So what we'll do is we will build one application. So and then slowly we'll enhance that application to a more, once we'll add some features, inside that application by learning new rules, basically. So in Pega, basically everything is a rules. So there are some 15 to 16 rules are there. If you master it, then that's it. So in your entire career, you will be only working on those 15 to 16 rules, basically. So that's it. You don't have to learn many things. Basically, the Pega has provided many things, but all day-to-day programming stuff or day-to-day requirements, and we don't touch each and every factors. We just touch 15 to 16 rules only, those main rules basically. Okay, so and now. Okay, so now as part of that, so what we'll take an example is, let's say for example, we have let's say for example, we have to build an application of, let's say our okay, a loan application. Let's say we have to build this application. Okay, in the loan application, so first is the first what happens is the customer will log in, and customer will log in and apply for a loan. And once they apply for a loan, then the bank representative will look over the application, and then he can either then he can take two actions. One is the reject. He can reject it, or he can approve it. And then after that, he can, and then after that, once email notification will go to that customer, email notification to the customer. So this is what that we have to build it. And now and in that customer, once a login, they have to insert, let's say, their first name, and then their last name, and then they have to insert their address, then again the phone number, then email ID, and all the stuff. All right, and then in here also, we have to show these users, we have to show these details, in the read-only format, and then after that, we'll show that email, to that respective person, to that respective customer, like that. Okay, So now let's say how to build this process. The first thing, like, we need an application. So first, basically the first process that we do is in Pega is like, we built an application, which will say that loan application. So that will just do that. So how we can do it. So here, we'll just go there. So there are many ways. So once if you log in, you can see that one application, one button, which is called as a build application. So either you can go there or else you can click on this application and the arrow key, and now you can say that new application. So either way you can go that. So either this button or this button. Okay, so now I'm choosing this one application. So now you can see that application is Pega platform application, which don't touch this application. This is Pega's out of the box application. So whenever you download a Pega personal edition, the Pega comes with this out of the box application. So don't do anything over here. So simply what you do is once you have logged in, so you just go here in that application, that down arrow button that you see here. So just click on that and then say new application. And then the Pega will ask you, okay, build from the scratch. So, okay, so just select this, build from the scratch. And then, okay, so now after that, like, so in what these, like, for example, now that, the Pega has from 8 version onwards, Pega has, for build their UI, on the React, basically, like, and now it's like, instead of using HTML, JavaScripts and all these things from the look and feel, the Pega is using one more language, which is called as React, which is used for the UI, interface. So for that, like, so you will just choose this one, okay, the traditional. Now that because the theme Cosmos basically like, will be will be used in both App Studio and Dev Studio. And this one you can see here, it's like, only be more suitable for App Studio. So I'll tell you like, what App Studio, Dev Studio also. So now you can see here, now we are in a Dev Studio. Okay. So now like, just select this theme Cosmos, just select this one. And now the Pega will tell you, okay, now tell a give the name of the application. So now we'll just name it as a loan application. Okay, and now after once you give the name of the application, just don't click on this create button, just go to the configuration link. So here, once you click on the advanced configuration, so select this implementation. Okay, and then this is the application ID. So Pega will create one application rule with the name of this. So if you want to rename it, so you can just rename it. Okay, so but I'm keeping it as is, and the version is the application version will be 010101. Okay, and now you can just give the organization name. So here, let's say, for example, I want to develop an application for like, for a bank, let's say Bank of America. So I'll just select the BOA, like that. So I'll just, I can give that organization name. So let's say, and now in the same way, let's say you want to develop an application for SBI Bank or ICICI Bank. So you can basically like, you can do that. So now let's say I'm saying Bank of America, BOA. Okay, that's it. So now once you have done everything, so now just you have to just select implementation and then application ID and all those things. That's it. Then click save. Okay, so this, okay. Okay, so that error message was because already this in this system, basically that same application name is present. So of course, I mean, it's not allowing me to create that because, so I just changed the name. Change the name means, I've just added one. That's it. So I'll just save it. And then after that, once your configuration is also done. So, okay. So now, it says that, I just click on this create application. So once everything is done, so like, once you fill that information, just click, just submit this create application. And then the Pega basically what will it do is like, it will create an application for you. That's it. Like, so your application has been created. So you can see that congratulations, your loan application has been configured and is now ready to use. So now our first step is done. So now first step is like our application, it got, it got created. So now what we have to do, the second step is we have to design this process, right? I mean, the entire process. So now what we can do is either you can just click on this done, or else you can just click on this go to app, basically like, so now newly created app, right? Now that you can see here, now we are in Pega application app. So, but sorry, Pega platform app. So, but we have to switch to that loan application app. So if we just click here, go to app. So just click on, I'm clicking on this button, go to app. Then the Pega will take me to our newly created app. Okay, so here it is, like, so here the application, the name is a loan application. So now you can see here we are in this newly created app. And now okay, and now so it's this from 8th version onwards. Basically what Pega is doing is, right, so basically, like, whenever you have created a new application, so the Pega will take you to the app studio, because and all that stuff, so, but just I'll advise you to go to that dev studio again. How to switch go to the dev studio? So now just go to, just this option is there, right, app studio. So from there you can see the down arrow button or icon. So just click on that icon. The Pega will show you all the studios where you can go there. So here, just select the dev studio. So again, like, we are here to the dev studio. Okay, so this is how your application will look like, and you can see their application name is not, it's not Pega platform, it's a loan application. So just now that we have created it. All right, and then on the left hand side, and so you can see here recents. Recent means that what are the rules that you have recently worked on. The Pega will display here. For example, let's say I have opened my operator ID, so you can see here, and just now that my application rule that I've opened it, so that I also got it, came into my recents. So here, and then the case type, basically again, like, again, case type means, like, so whatever the and now, like, a process, right, so process that which you have to define, right, so that process you can define it with the help of this case type. So now the second step, basically, that what you have to do is, once after the application has been created, the second one is, like, of course we have to design a process, right? So how will the Pega knows that, okay, after customer will submit, then where I have to go, and after that where I have to go, and all those things. So that you have to, so that you, sorry, so that we do it with the help of this, add a case type. So once we click here, add a case type, so the Pega will ask you, okay, like, just what is it. So now you can see that loan process. Okay, that's it. Just okay, and then once you do that, and then just submit this. So initially, like, you feel that, like, okay, like, because, and this happens with any technology, like, so initially, like, any technology, will feel that, okay, like, it's what it is and all those things. So uh once you know it, then, I mean, so you can easily, like, go there. So now this is how, like, our your keys types looks like. So you can see here the first one, this create, like, this one. So this is called as a stage. And now this is called as a process, nothing but a normal flow. And this is called as a steps, like, now this one. So this is stage, step, sorry, stage, process, and steps, basically. Okay, so this is how the Pega divides here. So, and this is how you have to define your process. So now in the stage, like, so we know that, okay, what are the stage that we have. Okay, so first is, like, the customer will have to fill the application form. So, like, you can just name it as a stage as um, capture details, let's say. Okay, capture loan details, which our customers will enter. And then after that, what will happen? So now we know that after that, the bank representative will approve or reject it. So let's say approval process. Okay, this is our approval. Or if you want, then you can just add the slash rejection and all those things. Okay, and now after that, what we is email notification. So now we can just name the third step as email notification. Okay, like that. Okay, and then after that, like, so this is a new feature which Pega adds at the from the 8.4 onwards. Like, the Pega automatically give you one stage, one process, and a one step, with the name of create. But you can just rename it, like the name, like the way I have renamed this first stage to capture loan details, from the create. In the similar way, you can rename your process to, let's say I'm just giving the same, capture loan details, and step name is, let's say, enter personal details. Okay, and then in the approval, so now that in the approval also we can just add a step. Okay, and now in the step, like the Pega has provided many steps, like for example, collect information, multi-step form. So give that. So one of the step is approve reject. So I'll just add this here. Okay, so approve slash reject. Okay, and then here in the email notification, what we have to do is here we have to send an email notification to the customer, right? So here, if you just click step and then go more, then the Pega has given some out of the box email shapes. So just go down, just so what you have to do is like just go with a step and then okay, I'll just show you again. So step and then just go to more, and then in the automation, so in the automation, just go down and then you can see one step which is called as a send email. So just select this, and then on the right hand side you can see that okay what it is. So now for example, let's say I'm just uh, I'm hard coding, let's say an email ID. Later on we'll just make it dynamic. Okay, and then in the subject line, what is the subject line? Loan application, loan got approved. Okay, and then you can just compose it to like you can just write a text message, right? So dear uh like your loan has been approved. Okay, regards, BOA team. Okay, now and after that you can just based on your requirement you can just write that this is auto generated email, do not reply, and all these things. I mean, again, that's it. And now okay, and now I'll just send this to send approval email. Okay, so like that. Okay, collapse this and I'll save this. Okay, so now this is our process has been done. So this is something like something which BA and LSA, like our senior Pega resource and a BA, basically they do it together and show it to the client. Like because enough application got created, you have seen that enough for creating an application, it's only 2 or 3 or 5 minute job basically. Okay, and after that, so entire process, what process that we have to design, so that be like our business analyst and that senior resource, like the lead of that, who will be leading that particular project, that both of them sit together, and after understanding the requirement, they just design the process with the help of the stages and steps. So this is what in the case life cycle, and this is what the advantage over like other BPM tool. The other BPM tool, in the other BPM tool, if I'll ask you, okay, like okay, tell me the process of approval, then you have to go some other place and you have to show me, okay, this is the approval process looks like. Okay, then I will tell you, okay, in the personal, okay, tell me the first process how it go, then you have to go to the other place. But in Pega you can see the entire process in one screen, like what will happen, what will not happen, after this what will happen, and then after this what will happen, everything you can see it in one place. So this is what that advantage with the Pega has given you with the when compared to any other BPM tool provided in the market. Okay, and then the another question that, so now that you will show to the customer, and so customer will tell you, okay, now everything is good, but now one question the customer will tell you that after this, I mean, let's say the manager has approved it, then you can send this approval email to the customer. But once let's say that manager or like bank manager has rejected your rejected your loan application, so what will you do? Like again, you can't send this approval email, right? I mean, that is again, that is not a good I mean, that is not a valid path basically, right? And that time, like let's say the manager has rejected it, then what you have to do is like you have to send a rejection email. Is it right? So now for that, you have the alternate stages. You can see that this is a primary stages, and Pega, like stages also, like I mean, Pega, like we have divided stages into two parts. One is the primary stages, and the another one is the alternate stages. Okay, the primary stages are like so happy path. Like, so all the happy path scenarios, like, for example, I have applied for a loan got approved, I'll get an email notification. Or for example, shopping, like, let's say I'm buying something from an Amazon site, I have selected a book, then after that, I'll just go to the payment process, and the payment process. Okay, and then after the payment, like everything looks good, so my order, will get placed, like that, so that is again happy path. So but an happy path means, let's say for example, I'm buying something from Amazon, and then I selected a product which I want to buy it, and then after buying it, like, so I'm making a payment, and then let's say the book and or let's say, I'm while making a payment, my bank server, let's say I'm using HDFC Bank, my bank server went down or something, there's a high possibility that in while making a payment, my internet went down, something can happen, right? So all that things can happen. So all the things, like, so in that cases, like, we have to do, like, unhappy path, like, we have many scenarios where we can have that, right? So you can take, like, your server went down, or your leave got rejected, your loan application got rejected, anything, got, so that we can just configure it with the help of this alternate stages, right? And so now we have three primary stages, 1, 2, 3. And now that we have, the customer will ask you, okay, what will happen if, where are you sending the rejecting email, basically? So that you can say that, okay, so let's configure it in the alternate stages. Okay, so now I just click here, same process, go to the more and go to the automation, just select that send email step, select this, and just rename it to send rejection email. And now, okay, for now I'm hard coding it to, okay, email ID, loan reject. Okay, this is a subject line. Again, we can give it, and then compose. Okay, dear Pankaj. Okay, now ER loan application got rejected. Okay, that's it. That's it. So this is how you can design your complete process. Now, again, like another one is like, after this is this is my last stage. So now after that, what I can do is I can just click on this, and I can just click on this one, and I can say that resolve the case. After this, nothing will happen. After this email notification, I don't want to proceed, or I don't want to do anything. That's it. Just select this resolve, your case status or completed. That's it. And of course, you can rename the status as well. Okay, that's it. So now I can see here that here there is no red line over here, right? So, but as soon as you select this, resolve the case, and if you'll save this, that's it. You can see that red line. That means you're saying to the customer or any person, basically, this is how your flow looks like. How your flow will process with the help of the stages, three primary stages and one alternate stages. And after that, this is what your this is the last stage, basically, that this red line indicates that no other, after this you're not performing anything, performing any action, basically. Okay, so this is what, you can do that. So basically, today what we have learned is, how that we can build a new application in Pega. And after that, as soon as you build that application, how you have can design a process, right? The entire process, that whatever that I've mentioned in this notepad, how you can just mention that, and with the form, with the help of a stages, and what is a primary stage and what are the alternate stages, basically. Yes, no, no, this will be used in the real time also. So now if you just run it, right? So now you can basically, because we have to do many things, but this is what basically, let's say, so once, so this is one of the rule, right? I mean, one rule that we learned is the application rule, and the second rule is a case type rule. So now what will happen is, once a business says, or your client says, yes, this looks good, I mean, I don't want to do anything else, this looks good, then we can just modify it. How can we modify it? We have to enter these details, right? I mean, all these details that we insert it, all these things. So then simply, and also you can just click, you can see some buttons, right, on the save and run and all this stuff. So once you click on save and run, so basically, you can see here. So now this is your first one. So you can see here now that we are in the capture loan details. So now once like, so of course UI, we haven't designed the UI yet. So in the UI, like, I mean, we have to show name, the last name, email ID, phone number, address, loan amount, what type of loan that, I want to apply for, and all these things. Okay. So once we develop that UI, which I'll show it from tomorrow onwards. Okay. And now once we submit that, then he will just say submit, create, and now you can see here the approval. The manager will see this kind of a screen, right? So now you can see here we are in the second stage. So now he can say, oh, it's a rejection note. Okay, so I can say that, okay, rejecting as rejecting the loan because because salary is less, like that. I mean, just giving example. And then after that, I mean, we can just say approve or reject. So of course, I'm rejecting that application. So I'll just say reject. So once I click on the reject button, so you can see here now that, the year, thank you, because after that we are not doing anything, and you can see the status has changed to reject, resolved, rejected. And also one email that I've shown you, right? I mean, we have configured one email. So where can we see that? So here in that attachments, if you see here, the one email is there with the subject as loan rejected. So if you'll open it, you can see here, like, so we haven't configured the email ID yet. So that is the reason by default Pega show keep this ID, and it is going to this email ID. And then the subject line is this, and the body of that email is this. Your loan application, got rejected, like that.